Hello. Today I'm going to be going through some tips and tricks for some new and maybe some old players. I guarantee there will be something in here that you already knew. Number 1. For hovers, acceleration efficiency is always better than power, even on reds. The contact module is really good armor, as when it's fused it has 1:1 due to mass ratio, and it also has 0 pass-through, so you should know what cab fuses are used for what type of build. For hovers, you want mass power. For dogs, you want mass. For levies, for anyone that drives levies, you want dura power. For car builds, like a Scorp car or something, you want duramass. You can also use mass for cars, but duramass is usually better if you can make it work. And bonus tip, with the new hovers, you can actually use dura power because of the cab placement and because they just have so much cab dura to begin with. As you can see here, this Scorp hover, I have dura power fused. And for your middle fuse, you always want speed, but you know, if you're random fusing, it doesn't matter that much. In the main battle pass, you can only miss 3 dailies if you want to get your 2 legendaries with your lighters. The Vault cab still isn't in the tech tree. Chameleon Mark 1 and Mark 2 have the same reload. For any fuse, you want durability over resistance because cold removes resistance, and you can't just remove durability. But again, if you're random fusing, it isn't that big of a deal if you get resistance instead of durability. The fastest way to do your dailies is to have a build with a lot of barriers. Usually you can do your dailies in 2 games if you're just playing patrol. Spoon has a really nice build on Exib here, 8 barriers and an Aegis. This will get your dailies done in 2 games. So if you don't want to spend a lot of time every day doing your dailies, I would highly recommend you invest in some barriers. It is worth it. If you can, turn off camera steer. And I say if you can, but what I mean is if you play on less than like 180 or 150 ping, then you should be turning this off because you will become much more responsive. As you see when I have it on, there's a lot of drift. And if I go like a lot, it'll rock like that. And you don't want that. When I have it off, you become a lot snappier and you have full control over everything. You don't have the rock. You don't have the rocking. Try to always exit out of Yeti instead of shooting out of Yeti, because when you exit you have like a 70% reduction in like cooldown, and trust me, having an 8-second reduction is a lot better than like a 25. Now I know it can be inefficient to just always try to exit out a cloak, but usually it isn't worth shooting out a cloak just to maybe get 1 shot off. I would only say that's only worth if it's a kill shot or if you are 100% going to take a gun off or like gen someone. Otherwise it's just not worth shooting out. What I tend to do is if I'm like behind a ridge or behind a wall or something, I know that I want to cloak and peek out and shoot nearly straight away. But what you can do is just double tap F. And get the timing down, and you're still exiting out a cloak without shooting. So it's just the small things. You can have detachable explosives. I feel like a lot of people know this, but I also feel like a lot of people don't know this. You rarely should have ammo packs in the center of your build. You should always try to find a way to have them detachable. So whether it's something like this, and you put like an ammo pack in here. If this gets shot off, the ammo pack goes with it. Doesn't blow up. There's so many different ways that you can do this, but all of your builds should implement either detachable ammo pack or the ammo pack is away from anything important on the build. Like with pretty much every hover build, you can see there's ammo packs out here. This is out of, like, the explosion radius of this isn't going to damage anything, and it's used as armor, as you can see. Like if I was to angle 45 degrees with this build, there's armor. Like this is 100 durability of armor that doesn't have pass through. So that's also why these are here. If I were to shoot that, there's an ammo pack in that. I shot it and it didn't explode. Meat grinders are very weak to cold. On top of this, their perk is the heavier the build is, the more resistance the meat grinder builds up. So they can have around 2000 durability each, but cold reduces resistance. So if you use a narwhal and shoot the meat grinder a couple times, they'll lose their resistance and go back down to like 500 durability each. Three shots and both of them are gone. Four shots with Foon and 1 is off. 2 more shots and the other is off. The Atom Shield hitbox is a lot bigger than you might think. If I were to visually represent the hitbox, the shield comes up to about there. Maybe a bit higher than that. Make sure you press V or whatever your ping button is on enemies because you can see their name tag behind walls, and this can be very helpful for pre-firing them, as you can see here. I see a lot of people not doing this, and I don't really know why. If you're playing pubs on EU servers, make sure you keep in mind the toilet bowl method. A lot of matches, players on both teams will tend to just go to the left and just drive in a circle until it ends up in the middle somewhere. So don't get caught out by that. You can shoot over the blade on the Bastion cab and ignore the resistances. In your video settings, make sure you turn off super resolution. If you can do this in every game, a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games sort of need this because they're so unoptimized. But in this game, it's fine. Please have this off. It adds weird math smoothing and it also makes the game look weird. Take note of any weird items in battle passes or event passes. At the start of a BP, you may not care, but the devs tend to add items that might get a solid buff later on throughout the season. If you look at this BP, we have the Beholder, which just got a nice buff, Quantum, which also got a really nice buff, and in the mini BP, we have the Verifier, which remember, the Oculus got a solid nerf, so Verifier is a lot more viable now. They do this every season. Another Yeti tip, if you have like 2 seconds left on your Yeti, make sure you exit out of it instead of just let it run dry, because you'll get a few seconds left for free. This can be very useful in clutches. In your audio settings, make sure you turn off the speech volume and the stun effect, unless you like them of course, but I think the speech is kind of goofy and the stun effect is just annoying. If you have a Cyclops on your build, you can rift off weapons to get the Cyclops perk, which boosts reload. The only weapon you should be doing this with though is Enlightenment, and that's only if you have spare energy for some reason. Maybe it's like power score capped and you have spare power score. As you can see, if I detach the Enlightenment, my Corvo should have a reload boost. As you can see down there, it's 12%. It costs 20,000 scrap, 6,000 copper, 2,500 wires, 1,000 plastic, 750 electronics and batteries to craft a legendary from nothing. When you're buying resources in the badge exchange, make sure you buy them at the highest quantity as that's the best value. I think batteries here, 200 is the highest, so if you want batteries, you should get them now. Try to avoid buying them at their lowest amount, as it's just not worth. If you're playing on Control 17, you can pre-fire here between 449 and 447 on this spawn. If you need stabilizers, check all of your untradeable items. The stuff that comes from those packs, those like free packs that you get, most of the stuff in there you can scrap for stabilizers. So you can see here, this is from some pack. If I salvage it, get a purple stabilizer. If you need electronics and batteries for crafting legendaries or something, you get more bang for your buck if you buy legendary decor and then salvage it. You get the same value, sometimes more, and it's a lot quicker as you have less buy orders. These truck exhaust pipes here are usually like 150, 160 coin. And if I were to salvage it, I get 250 electronics, 250 batteries, 250 copper, 50 scrap. Ends up being about the same, maybe more, and you know, I'm buying one item, getting these two things, which is what I need. If you want to buy packs, make sure you check XODB. I'll put the link in the description, and they have a whole packs page which will tell you the best coin for dollar, which pack has the best coin for value, blah blah blah, whatever. You can farm Catalina stacks with the bridge on bridge. As you can see, without even shooting the target, I have 6 stacks on my Catalina already. A super bonus tip for anyone that has made it to the end here. Every once in a while, contacts and rifts are craftable for very cheap, around 15 coin worth. During this event, you should actually craft hundreds of them and hold them for around 6 months because they will go back up to around 170 coin. I did this last year and I made around 20k profit. I would recommend doing contacts though because they sell more often and they're worth more. Anyway, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.